On this episode of Josh's Car Corner, I'm in Tucson for a car show.
We tried all there is to try. I'm not gonna let you fall this time. Let me hold you. I won't let anybody hurt you. So far and so wide, distant moment crashes down as our memories collide.
Okay, so I just got here to the Pontiac and GMC show in Tucson, and the very first person that walks up to me is George here. George is from Australia, follows the show, had to come to the show to meet me and see the car today, which has just made my day completely, so it's fantastic.
Lovely to finally meet you.
You too,
Fantastic.
sir.
Yes, I made the way. I thought I am not going to miss it for anything.
He is part of a group in Australia called Track Day Club. They have a bunch of Monaros and Commodores. They go out on track days, they tear it up and have a great time, and they are all avid followers of the show.
Absolutely, yeah. And we thought one day, if you have a chance, it would be lovely to see you over there, but in given time.
Yeah, absolutely. I will get there someday, I promise. And he was very kind to bring me this whole bag of goodies too, and I just got to show this stuff off because this is amazing. This is the book. If you just explain what this stuff is better than I can.
This is the whole history of Australia in 1965 to current, with our race Bathurst, which is our biggest one for the year. And this is the actual history of the commemorative with Holden versus Ford, how strong and powerful it is that one side of the mountain in Bathurst, the race, is Ford and one side is Holden.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's all in the history of the book.
That's amazing that it's like that. Well, you know what, I could ask you, because what's going to happen next year?
Currently they call them V8 supercars.
Right.
Now next year it's not going to be called V8 supercars, just supercars.
Okay.
So they'll be bringing in the Buick and the Opel Insignia.
Okay.
So, and of course then the rest of them will be Nissan, and which we don't have much interest in them anyway, but unfortunately no more Holden for next year.
And Ford, did they run Fords this year?
Yes, they ran Fords this year, and next year they'll be, my understanding will be Mustang, because we still get the Mustang in Australia.
Okay. But that was one thing, and then he also was kind enough to bring me this Monaro Cars calendar.
Yep, and this is the first one from 1968 right up until here, 06. If it wasn't for this car, these cars wouldn't have been around today.
It's even the same color. I love that. I love that. And then he brought me, this is the group I was telling you about, Track Day Club, so he brought me a lovely hat, which I will be wearing on the show. In fact, why the heck am I not wearing it now? Put that hat on. Represent. They're willing to come here and see me, I'll wear the hat. All right, okay, and then we've got also a t-shirt, same thing, Track Day Club, excellent. Now this one's very personal to me. Can you explain this one?
This is the number plate that I had on my own personal car in Australia, which is really rare and hard to find. But it's the word, there's no more Holdens in Australia. No one more deserves this plate than the passion that this gentleman has here in the United States. It's yours.
I love this. This is so bloody cool.
What's that? And you'll say exactly.
Oh my God, it's so cool. And it's fantastic. So what do you have back in Australia?
I actually have a Holden Statesman Caprice, which is equivalent to your Chevy Caprices at the moment.
Okay.
And a GTO, an 04 GTO, 285 now kilowatt. I don't know how you change the conversion here to horsepower.
285 is probably about 370, 380 horse, something like that.
Yeah, 04 in Turismo Blue.
Turismo Blue.
Yeah.
Oh, was that an Australia only color?
Only color in Australia.
Yeah, I am jealous of some of the colors you guys got.
I think you had the Devil Yellow.
We got Devil Yellow, Brazen Quicksilver, Cosmos Purple, Barbados Blue, Impulse Blue, Phantom Black, Quicksilver, Cyclone Gray, Torrid Red, Sport Red, or Spice Red, and then there was even a couple in Pulse Red in 04.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right, yeah.
I think I covered them all. If I didn't, I'm sure somebody's going to tell me. I know you guys are as anal as I am. So, yeah. But it's brilliant. I love it so much. Now, one other question I want to ask you. I heard this rumor that when they stopped making the G8 GXP, they still had a bunch of front clips, Pontiac front clips, and they sold them to you guys in Australia, and you guys were starting to put them on the VEs.
We certainly do. A lot of the guys, it's funny because saying that, I've noticed on some of your videos you had the Holden packages. Like a few shows you went to, you said, oh, and you have the Holden package on your VE and VF. Well, in Australia, we're doing the opposite. We're putting the Pontiac package.
You know, I think there's a business opportunity here that's not being utilized, because everyone here wants to convert to Holden, and if you guys want to convert back, we should just start a business. Hey, you want a front bumper? Heck, you can have mine, and just get a swapping business going.
There's guys here with Pontiacs doing airbags, getting the Holden airbag and the Holden front clip. Coming here, if I would have had a bit more time, I would have loved to put I was going to bring you the Monaro badge and turn this into a CV.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know how many people have asked me to do that? I have seen one fully done up. It is amazing.
It is.
It is amazing. But then there's only so much of this, and there's other things.
The badges and that, no problem. But the front clip here, the front grille and the front bar, not a chance to try and find it.
There's a whole lot of cars. I haven't even started looking around at cars at the show yet, but I tell you what, my day's already made. I don't care what happens for the rest of the day. This has been fantastic, George. Thank you so much for coming out.
You're very welcome, Josh.
It is beautiful. And I will keep making these shows as long as I can for you and for everybody down under too. Thank you so much for watching.
See you soon in Australia.
So it is an all Pontiac and GMC show, so I would be remiss if I didn't cover at least one GMC truck, and we've got one right here. Reason I find this interesting is because this was a concept that GMC tried in, I think, between 2003 and 2006. It's a Denali, which there's millions of, but this one has got four-wheel steering. So the back axle's like the front axle on a big heavy-duty off-road truck, or like a big Dana, so it actually can pivot and twist. So the back wheels will turn at a reduced ratio to the front wheels, so this thing can get into some really tight spaces and turn. It's great for backing up trailers because you can control the neck of the trailer a lot more easily. And it was just a really cool concept, and I don't understand why it never caught on, because it makes the truck so much more versatile. Easy to park, easy to get around, way handier in so many situations, but for whatever reason, they stopped making it after 3 years. So it's cool that there's one here. If I was ever going to get a GMC pickup, I'd probably have to look at one of these just because I think that rear axle is so trick. It's a cool setup. Okay, so here in the middle of the show, I'm just walking along looking at all the engine bays. I'm just actually doing panning shots, and I get to this car and it's like, wait a second, there's no engine in there. It's just a bunch of batteries. So I needed to get more information, and this is the owner of the car right here, Steve Conley. So Steve, could you tell us what we're looking at right here?
All right, it's an 85 Trans Am. It's got a net gain warp 11 high voltage motor. It's got a Manzia micro battery charger, DC power system, high voltage motor controller, 63 Calb 180 amp hour battery cells. They're all hooked together to the T5 transmission.
Now most of that is Greek to me, but if I'm understanding this correctly, this is an electric car using the T5 to move it around in an 85 Trans Am.
Right.
So is this the only electric car you've ever done?
No, I have a 98 S10 that I had on the road running in August of 08, and I use that, that's my daily commuter. I haven't bought gas in years.
Wow, that's fantastic. So do you have solar at home then to recharge everything?
No, I spent all my money on batteries.
to store your power. How many batteries are in this thing?
63.
63, that's cool.
And it's 3.33 volts each. That's 209 volts total pack.
Okay. So are these like the deep cycle batteries? You can just grind them down to nothing?
These are lithium ion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these you run these down to zero, they stay there.
So what, you get them about half empty then and top them off, or what?
Yeah, you can go down about a third.
That's
pushing it a little bit.
How far can you go with this setup?
75 miles.
75 miles, okay.
Yeah, but then you start it back up.
Now, being a Pontiac, I do have to ask, have you ever raced this thing, taken it to the drag strip?
No, because my theory is if something breaks, who has to fix it? And then pay for the broken parts. Yeah, and I spent all my money on batteries.
Yeah. You should just get that embossed on the back of the car. I spent all my money on batteries.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that's a very cool car. Steve, thanks so much for showing it to me.
Thank you.
All right, that is cool. Okay, hold on a second. Before you switch off, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad. I finally, for the first time, watched the series this summer, and I was addicted to it. And despite it being one of the ugliest cars I personally think they made, it was a star car in a wildly popular TV show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pontiac Aztek. This particular example has only 50,000 miles on the clock, and it is as original and true to what Pontiac was trying to accomplish as you can get. It has the tent. He has a sleeping bag in the back. He has the factory mattress, but it's not in the car right now. It's got the Pioneer speakers in the back. It is exactly what Pontiac wanted the car to be and never did. And these things were a joke when they came out, and now I think they're kind of a novelty because it's so rare that you see one, and especially in this good condition. I mean, he did mention that this wasn't an old lady's car. She did kind of have a mishap right there, that he's gonna take a blow dryer and pull that all back out. It is the 3.4 V6, nothing special there. It's not a fast car, it's not a sporty Pontiac, it's a unique Pontiac. It's rare, these days anyway, interesting, and it's kind of funky and cool. It was Heisenberg's car. I had to throw this one in. You're goddamn right. All right, kids, pay attention, because it's time for a history lesson. Now, I know to some of you this might look like an old, antiquated Chevy Blazer with a body kit on it, but this is in fact a production car. This is the GMC Typhoon. It is the sport utility version of a hot pickup that they made in 1991 and 1992 called the Cyclone. And before you scoff at it, let me give you some basic figures. 0 to 60, 5.2 seconds, 4.3 liter turbocharged V6 engine with full-time all-wheel drive. This thing was the fastest sport ute in the world in 1991 and 92, and the Cyclone version, the pickup truck version, was the fastest pickup truck in the world in 1991. They made about 3,000 Cyclones and they made about 10,000 Typhoons, so this is a pretty rare vehicle. It's advertised at about 270 horsepower. Most people think it's a little more than that, somewhere around 290, and about 330 pound-feet of torque. And because it's in such a small vehicle that weighs almost nothing, this thing just gets up and off the line. Now it's pretty much out of gas at about 120 miles an hour, transmission limited mostly, but it gets to 60 and up to those speeds in no time flat. So if you ever see one of these, now you know what you're looking at. They're pretty darn rare, and these days, they're really cool. So all things considered, a great day at the Tucson Car Show. But as I was packing up to leave, this cool blue fuel-injected GTO caught my eye, and it reminded me there was one more thing left to do. Drive to the top of Mount Lemmon, north of Tucson, for cookies and ice cream. down on the bottom of Mount Lemmon. Successful day, great car show, great drive up the mountain, tons and tons of ice cream and pizza. All in all, a good time. So hope you guys enjoyed this little trip to the car show, and hope you learned something about some GMC trucks. I didn't intend for this thing to be all about GMC truck, but somehow it just ended up being that way. It's one of those things. So once again, thanks for watching Josh's Car Corner, and see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching the show. If you like the show, let me know by clicking that subscribe button, and you can always follow what's going on with the show on Instagram at Josh's Car Corner.